Good morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream. I'm going to do our January the 19th spiritual principle day in a meditation. Looking forward to it. Let's go ahead and find it. And here we go. The title of the meditation, Contributing Our Creativity. Some of us discover that we have talents for contributing to the world in other ways, whether through our creativity, our empathy, or our addict ability to focus on one thing and do it till it's done. That comes from the Living Clean book, chapter 1, A Vision of Hope. In NA, we often recall how drugs ruined our lives and how our innate talents were ultimately no match for our disease. When we were using, however, many of us believed that the drugs we used were fundamentally responsible for the positive contributions we made to our lives. Drugs allowed us to be confident about expressing ourselves socially, artistically, and sexually. They helped us fall asleep at night and wake up in the morning so that we could be there for our kids after work and before school. Using gave us laser sharp focus and heightened our productivity at work, which pleased our employers and soothed our insecurities. Still, we eventually came crashing down. As one member put it, I thought I was high functioning, but it turns out I was just high. When we first get clean, we are terrified that our performances will suffer and will disappoint others. With no drugs, we believe we are no longer creative beings or being talentless hacks who never were. We doubt we'll be able to function, let alone complete projects on a deadline. Will our families still love us? Because surely we'll be less easygoing and fun. And what about sex? As we heal, we begin to understand that the deep well of our creativity, our empathy, and our focus comes from developing a more honest relationship with ourselves and a connection to a higher power. We learn to acknowledge and release, even a tiny bit, our need for perfection and validation. Our expectations of ourselves become more realistic, and that gives us more integrity in how we contribute to our lives. We refocus the wasted energy we spent comparing ourselves to others toward being of service to fellow addicts and to our loved ones. And we may even discover new talents and abilities we never knew we had. I know I have something to offer the world. If I don't know what it is, I'm willing to ask for help to find out. If I already know, let me seek guidance on how to deliver it with humility and generosity. There you go, contributing our creativity. Now let's take a moment of silence, followed by the we version of the serenity prayer and the third step prayer. Moment of silence now, please. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. God, take our will in our lives, guide us in our recovery, show us how to live clean. Just for today, please, and thank you. Okay, what a wonderful meditation. As I sit here and I think about the fact that I use drugs to help me become more courageous, say the things that I wanted to do. And it made a lot more things easy for me because I dealt with anxiety. So self-medicating clearly relaxed me and allowed me to speak up and do the things that I wanted to do all along. But the problem is that I was reeled into that, thinking, oh, let me just use a little bit before work. Oh, let me just use a little bit before I make my next collection call. Oh, let me use a little bit before I lay down with this man that I don't know. Right? So my experience is that this is true. This first paragraph is absolutely true. I was reeled in with that because it allowed me to have less inhibitions. But here's the deal: one is too many, and 1,000 is never enough. So I always ended saying, uncle, right? Having to surrender because of the pain of my circumstance and being beaten, being dogged, looking like a fool, and having to deal with the embarrassment that came along with whatever I had done. It always ended up on top. My disease of addiction is what I'm talking about. It always ended up winning. And I always was begging for mercy. Please get me out of this, higher power. That's true for me. So when I decided to get clean, now we're talking about this second paragraph, stick with me, right? When I decided to get clean, I was very concerned about being able to function without using. You know, as I told you, on my first day clean, I ended up with a promotion. And I knew that I didn't deserve that promotion. And so I had that to deal with. That's my experience. I don't know about anybody else. But my first day clean, I was promoted to a very prestigious job. And there were other people that had been there 10 years longer than me that were at the height of that level of pay for that position. And immediately in a day, I was making the same money they were making. I was not prepared for that prestige at all. The money that I gained from that promotion, I blew it away on gold and clothes and conventions. I wasn't ready, and I knew it. And there were so many, I almost want to cry. There were so many days I wanted to use. There were so many. That week was horrible. I wanted to use every day, but I did not want to embarrass a family member that was inviting me to the World Convention of Narcotics Anonymous in Chicago. Yeah. Yeah. And so the impact of that convention in Chicago, the World Convention in 1993, folks, right? The impact of that in my first week, whew, a promotion in a World Convention where there's well over 10,000 at that time gathered to celebrate recovery. That was impactful, but it caused a lot of fear. And it caused me to think, I need to use to get through this. But I resisted. And so can you. But I have so many doubts. That's what this second paragraph is about. Will I be able to do this? Will sex be the same? Oh my goodness, that was really on my mind. You know what else was on my mind? I thought, am I going to actually stay with this man now that is providing for me? And I cannot stand him, literally. I had been married to him for almost 3 years, and I was tired of the work that came with being married. Everything changed. And so that's okay, newcomer. That's okay, old timer. It comes. That's what happens. But the longer we stay and as we heal, we begin to see, you know what? Those things that I call assets, survival instincts, they're still there, but I get to flip the script on them and I get to use them for positivity intentionally. And I get to gain some more intentionally. Lost dreams awaken is what we say, and new possibilities arise once we get clean. That new possibility of getting a position, of making more money, and being able to give advice to the VP, the vice president of that department. That was amazing. I didn't expect that. That definitely was a new possibility that arose quite quickly. You know, some of the experiences I had from that is that I can read a Wall Street journal front to back and understand everything in it. Another benefit that came from that in showing the proof of this third paragraph was that I got to hold gold Krugerrands in my hand and count them with other people, actually with the vice president in a vault. I got to hold gold in my hand. And I've gotten to hold a gold bar in my hand because I had access with the VP to the vault, safeguarding the belongings of others, a trust, in other words. I worked in the trust department and I was the right hand person for the VP just because I stayed clean. And that promotion I got on day one. So, can you imagine the more clean I became, the more focused I became? I learned that I had a gift of gab. I had learned that I was a very professional person and that my compassion that I showed for others that often landed me in their bed, that was a gift to be used to encourage others. So I got to flip the script on that, and you can do it too. Absolutely. You have something to offer to the world. And if you don't know what it is, be willing to ask for help. And if you already know, seek guidance on how to deliver it with humility. Listen to that with humility and generosity. My name is Mighty Stream. I have totally enjoyed doing this meditation with you today. And I want to say a shout out to a recovering individual, initials LB. I don't know how old you are today, but I know it's your birthday. And I absolutely, positively am grateful for how we have developed Mighty Stream together. And I say to you, happy birthday. Family, I want for you to have a beautiful day on purpose, and I know that you will. I know that you will. So please do make it the best day. Make it the best January 19th that you have ever lived. I guarantee you, if you do that, other doors will open because people will say, what? How positive this person can be in this storm. And as I told you, I'm in a storm. My dad is on hospice. I'm recording from the bathroom office of a hotel room so that I don't wake my boys up, and the time is 4:57 a.m. And I have enjoyed these hours that I've been awake and my time with you. And I want for you to do the same because if Mighty Stream can do it, you already know you can do it too. Talk to you tomorrow.